It's been a long week up here in Bucks County as now the community deals with the enormous pain of the murders of 4 young men. Bucks County District Attorney Matthew Weintraub says 20-year-old Cosmo DiNardo and 20-year-old Sean Kratz have been charged in the killings. The DA started his news conference taking a moment to speak about how this tragedy affected him personally.
We did find 3 of those young men buried deep within the ground under an old oil tank that was converted into a cooker about 12.5 feet down. And in the sweltering heat and the dust and the pouring down rain, many of the men that you see behind me and many of the men and women that they represent worked tirelessly, nonstop, selflessly, around the clock. We had to force them to leave when their shifts were over. They insisted that they be there every step of the way until these men could be painstakingly and carefully removed from that 12.5-foot grave.
Cosmo DiNardo confessed late Thursday to participating in the murders of all 4. His attorney says that DiNardo felt remorse for what he had done. The Bensalem resident agreed to plead guilty to first-degree murder charges in exchange for the death penalty being taken off the table. Part of the agreement included DiNardo identifying his co-conspirator, and not too long afterward, Sean Kratz was arrested in North Philadelphia and charged with murder. The DA says without making a deal with DiNardo, there's a good chance they would have never found the body of Jimi Taro Patrick.
We'd still be looking for Jimi Patrick had we not made this agreement. I rode there in a car on the same site as the other 3 men were found. It was so far away that I started getting sick to my stomach on the ride.
The district attorney says they found the other 3 bodies at a different location. DiNardo pleaded guilty to first-degree murder for all 4. The DA believes only DiNardo killed Jimi Taro Patrick, who was the first to go missing. The DA says Kratz was DiNardo's accomplice for the murders of Tom Mio, Mark Sturgis, and Dean Finicaro.
But I am very, very relieved to say that we've brought 4 young men one step closer to their loved ones, and so that they can rest in peace. Dean Finicaro, Tom Mayo, Mark Sturgis, and Jimi Patrick have all been positively identified. We've notified all their loved ones.
Sean Kratz has 2 pending burglary cases in Philadelphia. He posted 10% of $10,000 bail in March. A hearing in May was postponed because he was dealing with medical issues, which is according to his attorney.
Thank you, Ashley. Guys, we are now joined by retired New York Police Department Detective Sergeant Joe Giacalone. Joe, welcome back to Chasing News.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Joe, you know the details of the case. Is there more to this story, or can we say that, look, law enforcement did their job, it looks like they got their guy, and this is a wrap?
No, well, you're going to have to make sure that there aren't any other connections, all right? I mean, it looks like there's a drug connection between these 4 fellows and this and Cosmo. So they're going to see if there's a bigger supplier out there or a bigger drug dealer or whatever it may be, and then try to create that nexus between Cosmo and the other 4 kids.
If there is that connection, do you see a lot of time being spent on pulling that in, and does it kind of look like, from a media perspective, hey, we're going to paint the victims in a bad light?
Just because the police make 1 arrest or 2 arrests, it doesn't mean the case is closed. I mean, technically it is, but they continue to go on and see if there are other players involved in this. In order to kill these 4 individuals, you would figure there's going to be a lot more stake in the game here. So there's something else that I think is going on behind the background that we don't know about yet.
What did seem incredible to me is the speed at which the staff worked. Is this a pace that is usually the pace of a case like this?
No, this is something I think they had gotten some information about what had happened here. I think they got a couple of anonymous tips. I mean, to be able to find that car as fast as they did, be able to get the cadaver dogs out there. I mean, you just don't call up somebody and say, send over the cadaver dogs. You know, they had to have some good information.
Thanks, Joe.